Coyle.
And I'm Dallas Coyle.
We're from God Forbid.
This DVD is supposed to come out?
Yeah, it comes out on Tuesday.
It's taken a long time to put together all this footage. Why not sooner?
I think for us, we wanted to do something that was cumulative of our entire career, something that kind of talked about where we're from, who we are, you know, and had a really high quality concert on there that, especially, you know, people who've never seen the band live before, give them an accurate representation. And you know, it was just about kind of, I think it just made sense. It took us a while to make it though. It took us over a year for it to be fully completed.
What do you hope it brings to the band?
Riches.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I was just joking. I think, you know, actually, I think it's going to let people, like, especially like a place like Canada, where like maybe like there might be a cultural difference between like America, like we might be like an acquired taste to a certain extent because of who we are. I think that people are going to watch the DVD and really just like kind of actually get to know our band, like know who we are individually as people. Like I think the DVD really does that well for us. I think a documentary section really it lets people know exactly like who each person is. Like people will look at Byron and think he's an intimidating guy, but in the DVD you'll see that he's like really funny. You know, he's very like, he likes to lose his shit and then likes like have fun too. You know, so and you know it's really cool. You actually see like the way we all react and interact with each other. You actually can see how from a lifestyle standpoint how it actually affects our music. You know, because one of our best friends who's known us for a long time created the DVD, so she knew us so well that she was able to just knock it out of the park. I mean, she literally knocked it out of the park. So when we saw it, we were dying laughing, like just in a place, just like that. I mean, you know, so that's what I expect.
I'm really just excited for the record. People who are really into our band, who like, you know, have all the records and who are gonna like really enjoy it and appreciate it. I'm really excited for them to see it.
Really cool. You know, your experiences coming up in the Jersey hardcore scene as, I guess, one of the most authentic metal bands from that cohort.
I think we've kind of, like, no pun intended, always been the black sheep, you know, and wherever we went, we never really fit in, you know, but it was one of those things, like, either you kind of subscribe to that whole, like, pay-to-play thing where you go to, you know, big clubs and say, oh, we'll sell 100 tickets to open up for X band or whatever. The hardcore scene, you didn't have to do that. You basically, if you could finagle your way into a show, you can play in front of some kids, you know, whatever, some people were into heavy music without having to sell tickets, you know, but it was very like scene oriented, it was very like cliquey, so you had to kind of really be social and really had to like learn how to network in that. And I think it was one of the things we just forced our way in. We just like we came out and people were saying, talking shit about us and saying this, and we were just like, you know what, fuck it, we're better than your bands. That's what we really were like, no, we're better than all these bands, but we felt like we were, what we were doing, we're like, if we could just play in front of the people, they would like it. And we were right, you know, we like, you know, he was like the networking man, he would calling up all the clubs.
Well, we actually came up during like the beginning of the internet, like in 1998, 99, that's when like mp3.com sort of happened, and AOL chat rooms. And the funny thing is, in that whole moment, I met Mark from Chimera in an AOL chat room, and we swapped, you know, tracks to each other. We're like great friends to this day. I met Jason Sukoff from Crotch Duster. We produced our record in a chat room. You know, like it was like really different. So like it was kind of like on the new cusp of, you know, like that new networking. So like we would play. I mean, before we got signed, we played over 130 shows. You know, and not all of them were in New Jersey. Like we would play like beat ass shows in Massachusetts. We played beach. We played beat shows everywhere. We actually played, our first time we ever met Lamb of God was when they were Burn the Priest, and we played in a garage at this place called Alex T's house with a big pan of like spaghetti that one person paid, and it was like the bands watching each other. We were like on Out of Misery. That's when it first came out. Like it was like a couple days before it came out. So we've actually had a long history of like kind of networking, and now that we're like, I guess, bigger than we were before, I guess people know who we are. I don't know if we really do that as much anymore, but I think we've actually been trying to make it an effort to actually go back to that way of doing it, because it's like, it was almost, when we got signed, it was like a crazy feeling, you know? So it's like when you get a big tour, sometimes it's not you doing it, it's other people. When you start doing things yourself, you get a much better feeling and you actually appreciate things a little bit more. So.
I mean, you guys obviously seem still pretty humble, and I appreciate that, you know?
Well, we have to be humble. It's not like, you know, we're all got gold records and are selling out arenas, you know, we're still a humble band doing humble things, you know. Sometimes we do big shows, sometimes we do small shows, sometimes, you know, things are great, sometimes things are rough, you know. So it's one of those things you don't have no choice but to stay close to the ground. You're at ground level, you know. So even though, like, you know, we may sell X number of records, you might see us on some big tour, it doesn't necessarily mean we're living in the lap of luxury, you know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a middle class. Like I said, that we're a middle class metal band, and like, you know, getting to the upper class is difficult because like the amount of money that you make from middle class to upper class, as you can just tell from finances and economics anyway, it's astounding. You know, so it's like right now we're still a middle class band, and I mean it's rough here and there, but you know, if you look at it from the bottom up, we've achieved a lot of things, but even though we're humble, we probably ask for more from people around us, you know, like our crew and like, you know, management and ourselves, you know, like, so sometimes, you know, I mean, when we're speaking to people about the band, like, it's just amazing that people love our band, considering that, like, just considering that what we look like to a certain extent, and considering like what our band, where we've come from, and considering we were in the hardcore scene. Everyone thought we were a hardcore band, and we've been fighting that label for like 5 years, you know, like metalcore, this, metalcore, that. If you listen to our band, we are straight up metal, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're a metal band, and I think now is going to be the moment where people are like, God forbid's a metal band. You know, we won't have like all these other bands that are on our back. Like Lamb of God never got, you know, stamped with the metalcore thing. You know, like, and it really helped their career.
Yeah, I mean, they were on hardcore shows.
They were metalcore, like for us, because we came from New Jersey, because we played with all those bands, it was immediate that, one, they wanted to make a new scene that they said that we helped make, which I think is bullshit. It's just metal, you know. And the other thing is just kind of was a tag that kind of stayed with us for a little while. And we're hoping that maybe the DVD will help shed that as well, because you see in our DVD that we are not the hardcore people. You know, we love and respect music, but we're not hardcore people. We're just, you know, we're just musicians.
What do you feel sets you apart from the other metal bands?
Well, I mean, I've been writing a lot of lyrics for the last two albums, and you know, it's like when things first started jumping off in this genre of music, like Lamb of God, I think has always been like kind of like against, like, not against anything, but like they had a different message. I think number one for us is just the fact that we're actually probably the only band like us that exists in the world that we can know of. Like, you know, the type of guys who are in the band who play metal as purely as we do. You know, you usually get black dudes in a band, they want to start playing reggae and jumping, bouncing off of wearing cross colors and shit. And we're not feeling cross colors, you know what I'm saying? We're feeling metal, you know what I'm saying? So I think that right now our band is different because our message actually starts from the perception standpoint as opposed to the music, because like our music has to be great considering what we look like, you know, considering that we'll play with an opening band and gets no love, you know, and then we'll play a show and then people start going crazy. If you're like a black kid from the ghetto, you come to see that show, you see Byron and Corey playing drums and him, because I look Hispanic so people don't really know, but you know, we have people where black kids come to the show and these motherfuckers never seen so many white people in their lives. They're scared, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? But when they start headbanging, they know all the lyrics. We realize that we actually, you know, on top of the metalheads that we bring, we're actually opening up a new, we're expanding the map of what is good and what is bad. Because in the hip hop scene, you know, like, you used to get beat up for listening to metal. Now you got Lil Wayne liking Nirvana and stuff like that in public. So it's like I think that we're definitely like a bridge to like expanding the map for metal and hopefully maybe getting gold record again. You know, we're not the same people are buying the records anymore. Maybe hopefully, you know, more people will buy records, you know, so.
Any final words to your fans as you go off on this tour with Thrash We Trust?
Buy our DVD. Yeah, it comes out June 10th. It's awesome. Beneath the Scars of Glory and Progression. Going back in the studio, finish the new record, and hopefully, if things go on schedule, get it out before the end of the year. So, really excited about our new record.
Yeah, we actually do have a new album come out. Sometimes we forget because we're on tour, but I want to thank all the people who come up to us and speak to us about, you know, how they like our music and like what they, I don't know, I think our band is deep on a level to where like people come up to you and they tell you things about your music that you didn't really realize. And then when they tell you that, you're blown away by the fact that you made something out of nothing. And there's a guy here who knows more about it than you do. You know, it's like, and you learn more about like being a musician. Like, you know, it's hard sometimes, but that's like, you can't really recreate that feeling. So I'd like to thank people for coming off and like letting us know what they think. You know, keep coming out to the shows, be our friends, have beers.
Awesome, now we're done.